Hey everyone, it's been a minute since I've done one of these videos, but I just felt compelled to do another video, maybe do a reading. It's going to be a really short reading. I've been feeling a little bit more spiritual recently. I felt like I went into my Saturn return in Pisces. It's still going on right now. I feel like I'm about halfway through it, I think. And it just felt like life was going so fast. And that's what made it really hard to do these readings, was I wasn't paying attention to transits at all. I'm still like kind of paying attention to them, but not like I wasn't looking at anything. Literally every single day was like, what can I overcome today? What can I spend my energy on today? And also trying to kind of launch my indie author career and write romance novels, which has always been my dream. The spirituality aspect was something that kind of came into my life at just a certain time when I really needed it. I was in a very dark place, and turning to spirituality and learning more about myself and having more intuition and leaning more into myself and all of those things really helped me during that time period. And it helped me, for a few years after that. I feel like I could be at a point where it could be helpful again, but I was feeling just so sort of chaotic, out of control, and just not in a place where I felt like I could give good messages. I even had a few returning clients who wanted messages from me and readings from me, and I did at a certain point have to be like, I just don't think I can do them right now. So this is kind of a tentative return. I just felt compelled to do some readings. So if you find messages that resonate with you, awesome. And we'll see if I can make time to do more of these in the future. I would love to. It really just depends on life. Life has been like a tornado and a hurricane for me. I don't know if you guys have been seeing my updates on my Instagram or anything like that. I know I've made a few connections and some good lifelong friends from when I originally started doing this. So I know a lot of you guys have seen what's been going on, and yeah, it's just been tough. It just seems like it's been like roadblock after roadblock ever since my Saturn return began. And a lot of positive things did happen. I graduated with my MFA, and I did start working in the industry I wanted to work in, and I have made some progress in that. It's just been the issue of the world and life circumstances and these big things that we all experience at certain parts in our life, but it just felt like I was experiencing them all back to back to back to back. So yeah, I'm in a place now where I'm really wanting to focus on healing and kind of focusing on what I should put my energy into. And I'm tired of sort of like chasing what I felt like I was chasing. I'm kind of at a point where and I'm thankful to my husband that like he supports me in being able to do this. Kind of focus on where I get my energy from, what inspires me, and what helps me not feel so bogged down by life. Okay, so I'm going to get into the reading. Yeah. I have 3 card piles here for you to choose from, and I want you to choose carefully. We have the Ace of Cups, the Star card, and 2 of Swords. Take a second if you need to kind of, concentrate and figure out which one of these calls to you the most. And then we'll get started with group 1, which is going to be the Ace of Cups. Group 2 is the Star card, and then group 3 is the 2 of Swords. So let's dive in. I'm gonna see if I can do this all in one go. We'll see though. Okay. Ace of Cups. With it, we have Knight of Swords and Ace of Swords. So a lot of, let's see here. So we have the 2 aces, which gives us like a starting point in 2 different aspects of our lives. And then we have the Knight of Swords here, which is about just going for it like full throttle, not getting hung up in the specifics of things, like just sort of charging forward because you're confident in what the results will be. This Ace of Cups tells me it's a new relationship, or a new, deeper level of yourself. A lot of people don't consider themselves someone to have a relationship with, but you are also a person. You're more complex than like one just significant being. Like, like you have your mind, body, and spirit, right? They're all different aspects. Who you might want to be in your mind is challenged sometimes by your body. Those of us with chronic illness understand exactly how that feels. Sometimes you feel trapped in your body because it's like, oh, I want to go do these things and be this different person, but I can't because I'm limited physically. And so your mind and body are separated, and then you have your spirit, which is beyond the conscious, you know? That's where we kind of like interact with our dreams, or that's why we go into intuition and we call out to the kind of like collective consciousness. And that's, you know, where the people that we love go. That's where we've come from. So having that kind of like connection with yourself at a deeper level could be happening for some of you. For some other people, it could be a new relationship. I'm not seeing that that's not possible. I can kind of see maybe like a friendship or a romantic relationship, or some blend of both. Like you've become friends with this person, you are familiar with them, you might be starting to have romantic feelings about them, but maybe you're not sure. So you do kind of want to jump forward into progressing more into this like new element that you're kind of exploring, whether it's with yourself or it's with somebody else. And which is exciting. But the Ace of Swords wants you to kind of take a moment to really step back and think about your words before you move forward with it. Think about intellectually like what you've learned from past relationships or what you've learned from past situations with yourself, and maybe consider that you might need to work on your communication in this area. You might need to make sure that when you are wanting to move forward with this person, that you can communicate what exactly you want for the future clearly. Because you might trip them up if you're, you know, saying these like vague notions of what you want the future to be, because maybe you have some fears from the past about commitment or whatever it is that are kind of holding you back, and you can't be gray with people like that. It becomes confusing, and then you become the red flag, right? You can't be like, oh, I don't really want a relationship, but I really want commitment from you. Like, you can't really do that. So you really have to figure out what exactly you want going forward and how you can communicate that with this person. I also have a little card here. So we have ninth house. So ninth house has to do with exploring and new experiences, and maybe even like a bit of like challenging what you think about the world. So either you're feeling this with yourself and that's what you're processing and that's what's leading you into these like different aspects of yourself, or with this person, they're making you think about things differently and they're really challenging the way that you see the world. So it could be important to, like I said, make sure that you are sure with your communication before moving forward. Don't make this person confused. You know what I mean? Make sure that you're clear about what it is that you want. And if you're not clear about what it is that you want, communicate that as well. You don't want this person in the dark or feeling confused or getting a back and forth from you. So that was group 1. If you chose group 3, then you chose the Star card. The other 2 cards we have with it are the Chariot reversed and the Fool. So here is your little spread here. The Fool definitely jumped out when I was shuffling these, but the Star card, I think I got these mixed up. Okay. I'm gonna have to rearrange this. Okay. So the Star card as the center of your reading kind of tells me that there's like, you don't want to give up hope about something. I feel like for a while you were hopeless, but now that you're in a position of like, you have faith in the future, you are looking forward to something, you really just don't want to give up. I have that also matched with the Chariot reverse, which tells me that you also feel kind of stuck in your situation. Like you don't want to give up hope, but you really feel like you can't move forward. All 3 of these cards are from the Major Arcana, so that tells me that something that you're going through is a big significant moment in your life. This is a huge turning point. This is something you're supposed to experience. And so I can kind of see that sort of disconnect from wanting to move forward. I can see a little bit of maybe emotional turmoil. Just feeling like you're really, really just like trapped. I get that feeling. And I think also that it might be that your feelings of being trapped are valid. I don't think that you can make the move right now that you want to make. I can see that you have not lost hope though. And I will tell you too that the Fool tells me that this is also just the start. This is the beginning. So you are on a new path. This is the start of this new journey you want to go on. The only thing is that you might not be able to make that move right now. You might be trapped in your situation for a little bit, and you're going to have to kind of figure out how to take the steps to get out of it. I also have 8th house here, which is Scorpio, but it's also about death and rebirth, new beginnings. So this tells me that whatever it is, I'm getting the feeling that this is a relationship. This relationship is over, and you want to have hope that you can have a new future without that person. But right now, you're in your current circumstances, you're kind of stuck living with this person for whatever reason. So you kind of are still in this process of letting the relationship and the connection die, and maybe even the part of yourself that you were with that person, like that person is now gone. You're not them anymore. And that's okay. We go through different deaths and rebirths in our lives. Who we were whenever we were 10 is not who we were at 20, is not who we are at 30. So we have these big, kind of like deaths of who we're not anymore. I had said in a previous reading on here about how the mind, body, and spirit are they're 3 different parts of you. Your mind doesn't always match up with your body. Sometimes we're physically limited from doing things that we would love to do, And then the spirit is that other aspect too, of the unconscious aspect, what makes our spirit happy, what brings peace to our soul. And sometimes that can be very different from what we think we want. And maybe even physically what we can do. Sometimes you might be going with the motions, doing what other people want you to do. You're an able-bodied person. You have plenty of energy. Mentally, you're like, this is what I should be doing. But somehow deep inside your soul, it just feels wrong. So it's important to kind of explore that and figure out what parts of you need shedding away and what parts of you need to come into the light and move forward with you into this next portion of your life. So yeah. That was actually group 2. I got these mixed up whenever I was looking at them. So I'm going to rearrange the video. But yeah, this was group 2, the star. If you chose group 2, then you chose 2 of Swords. With 2 of Swords, we have 4 of Swords reversed. And then we also have 2 of Pentacles. So here's kind of your spread. 2 of Swords is kind of like when you hit a crossroads in your life and you have difficulty making the decision because both options suck. You don't want to go one way because it could hurt other people, or if you go this other way, it could hurt yourself, or whatever it is that you're struggling with. It's 2 decisions and you don't want to make either of them, but you're kind of stuck at this crossroads where you're forced to. You have to make a decision. So it becomes difficult figuring out exactly what it is that you should do moving forward. With the 4 of Swords reversed, it kind of gives me the idea that you have been struggling for a while to get sleep. Like you're just so worried about this decision that you have to make. And the 2 of Pentacles also kind of gives me the aspect that maybe this crossroads also does have benefits as well. So you're really weighing the pros and cons of this, and it's really making you lose sleep over it. I'm not getting a particular aspect of where in your life this is coming from. I can't really tell if it's career or relationship or something, but I do know that it's something that's definitely bothering you. And I don't think it's a relationship because I don't think that people weigh the pros and cons of relationships in this similar way that I'm getting. I'm getting the feeling, I guess, more of that it might be a job or a move or something like that. It is some big decision where it's both options have their positives and you can gain something from both, but they're also both very difficult decisions. The advice I'm getting here is I have the 5th house, which is creativity, and it's also Leo, so it's very more about yourself. So I think whenever you're making your decision, you really have to kind of hone in on what will make you happy at the end of the day. And it's okay to be a little selfish in this decision is really what I'm getting from this spread. I'm not sure who might be collateral for this situation. I don't know if you have kids and maybe you want to move and your kids would be upset with you or something like that. Your coworkers might be upset that you want to change jobs, something like that. But I'm getting the feeling that in this situation, it's something that would bring you joy. It's something where you feel like you could be a little bit more yourself and a little bit more unapologetic about it. It's just this is who I am. This is where I'm being driven to go. And that's what I want to do. So I think in this situation, you might just need to be a little bit more selfish and do the thing that will bring you joy. I don't have much advice about how to approach this conflict with people, but it's definitely going to be like once after you've made the decision, I have a feeling that it might still be tough for a little bit, but in the end, you're going to end up being happier by making this choice. So yeah, that was group 2.